What is up? I'm NYJohn. I'm casting the Fnatic Raidcall Dota 2 Cup number 5. And right now we have a change of pace. We've been following VP for the past 2 matches. Now we have Outrageous Cats versus Bomber Squad in a round 3 matchup. I believe, if I'm not looking at the brackets wrong. Yes, it is a round 3 matchup. On the lower half of the bracket, this winner will actually end up playing Virtus Pro. So that's probably the reason why I'm casting this game and not another Virtus Pro match, because it's going to be after this. So we do see some bans come out already. We see Lycan as well as Nature's Prophet are out for the Dire. They have taken out Darkseer and Naga Siren. Very standard thus far, nothing too out of the ordinary. Now the final ban coming out for Outrageous Cats before we go into the picking phase. Do they want to take out Chen? They have the first pick, so perhaps they want to create an opening here, try and do something quirky to allow them to get a hero they like more.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
And they're actually going into reserve time, so you don't see this all too often for the third ban, but they want to play it carefully. I'm not sure if these two teams are familiar with each other or not. This is certainly the first time I'm seeing them. They're going to ban out Tinker with their third ban. So once again, Outrageous Cats versus Bomber Squad. So hopefully some new interesting play. Maybe we'll get to see some rising stars in terms of the players, as none of the names look particularly familiar. And the final ban coming out from the Dire Squad. They're going to take out... We could take out Chen, Invoker, Brood, Rubik even. Morphling we've seen taken out in this spot sometimes. Lone Druid. Plenty of options. Leshrac even. In fact, Leshrac might be one of the better choices if you don't want to give him up. So final ban about to come out. They're going to reserve time as well. And it's going to be Tide. So taking out Tide. Very interesting choice because it kind of opens up Outrageous Cats to pick up Brood and then force a Sand pick out of their opponent, as he's the only other counter available. But perhaps they don't believe they'll pick up the Sand anyway, or the Brood anyway. Maybe they want to get the Brood. If they pick up Brood and Sand, that would be pretty sweet. Invoker will be the first pick from Outrageous Cats, and now the Dire with 2 selections. Did this work perfectly to their liking? They pick up Leshrac plus...
Dire team pick.
Is it Brood? Is it Chen? They're not even sure yet. So once again, thank you for joining me. I'm NYJohn from GoForDota.com. Today I'm casting the Fnatic Raidcall Cup number 5. It's a winner-takes-all $500 tournament. I'm not sure if it's dollar or euro actually, so I'll have to check that. But 2-day tournament, $500. Really nice deal. 128 people were allowed to sign up. I believe the actual sign-up, or at least people that showed up today, were less than that. So first round, some teams got buys, but no big deal. Still well over 80 teams participating, I believe. And they're going to pick up the Shadow Demon now, the natural combo. Leshrac plus SD. Really strong and effective. You can put them in the mid lane and have a lot of success if you'd like to. You could also put them anywhere on the map. The Splitter just chains off the disruption, and then when you have the extra damage rather, with the Soul Catcher, Leshrac Edict does a world of hurt. And the immediate response from Outrageous Cats is going to be Rubik plus Morphling. And now Bomber Squad need to find some way to cope with the Rubik support, Morphling carry, and Invoker semi-carry in the middle lane. What do they want to pick up with their final selection? I think one of the junglers would be a pretty good option here. Chen, Enchantress, or Enigma. Of course, some teams don't like running Enigma against Rubik for obvious reasons. If you give up that black hole, it could be more detrimental than it is beneficial to yourself. But if you cover it with a skill, you don't have to worry about that. Of course, since black hole is channeling, it's a little more difficult. Blah, 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 blah. And reserve time for the final pick for Bomber Squad. They could also pick up something like a Brewmaster here. Also combos up well with Shadow Demon. Be aggressive. You put him on the middle lane. You could have a good time in that capacity. it's really hard to judge what teams are going to look for, having never seen them before, and this is exactly the reason why a Death Prophet pick comes out before the second stage of picking. So they probably could have got that a later selection, but decide to take her up now, and definitely a good hero, has her utility, but in this instance, I think they may have picked her a little bit early. Wouldn't expect to see a Death Prophet ban coming out, but gives a ton of pushing power, a lot of damage. We've seen Death Prophet very successful in that solo capacity before, and maybe we'll see it again today, but a fun hero to watch, as she is not too prevalent in the competitive scene. She has her little niche roles, but with the pushing being heavily emphasized in the current state of the game, definitely warrants a pickup in some capacities. So here we go. We'll see if Death Prophet plus Leshrac combine for an ultimate killing, tower killing force. Now, fourth ban coming out from Outrageous Cats. What do they want to take out here? Death Prophet probably going to solo Leshrac with the Shadow Demon as well. They could still run him as support if they wanted to. So, carries or junglers, yeah, both good options. They're going to take out Enigma with their first, or their fourth ban rather. Now the fourth ban for Bomber Squad. Morphling, Rubik, Invoker. I'll take out long laners. Windrunner, she's one choice. Beastmaster's another option. Both really good long lane heroes, of course. Tide's already out of the game, so that's an option taken out. Darkseer, of course, not part of the game either. Brood is still in the pool. I'm not sure the Radiant lineup would really feature a Brood constructively, so maybe they want to try and ban that out. Shaker is the ban from the Dire, and then Brood is the ban from the Radiant. So, yep, that was a good ban by them. They don't want to give up that much pushing power. That would be really difficult to cope with. And now the Dire with their final ban. They take out Shaker, so they want to take out another hard support. Sand King is in the pool. He's along the lines of a Shaker if you think that's what they're going to look for. Venomancer is still in the pool, of course, gives tons of lane options. It's going to be the Sand King, though. So they decide to take out that huge initiator role. They don't want to have to deal with that. They want to have better team fights and be very aggressive early on. And Brewmaster is a pickup for Outrageous Cats, their fourth selection. And that makes it really interesting because where are they going to fit a Brewmaster? Unless they're running an aggressive try or a long lane Invoker. They could put Brewmaster in the mid, Invoker in the bottom, and Morphling in the top with a try. Or they could run duos too. Interesting choice by Outrageous Cats. Gives them a lot more early to mid-game control. They can try and hold off the pushing power that they've relinquished to their enemy. So, not a bad option, but with their current picks, I'm not sure he fits seamlessly. Now the fourth selection for Bomber Squad is going to be Animage, so they decided to go for the hard carry outright. Animage, I've already discussed this in one of my earlier casts, of course, one of the better hard carries against a Morphling. You just have to get to that stage of the game or amount your farm that much better than his to really take advantage of it. Now the final pick for the Radiant team, what do they want to go for? They're going to need another support. So Venomancer is still available, definitely a good option. Crystal Maiden's available as well. Those are the two we'd probably be looking at. Vengeful's available, but I'm not sure she's going to get picked up here. They could also go for a jungler and then have a lineup that I wouldn't even begin to understand. Morphling would have to solo top, and then it would be a duo bottom. Brewmaster plus Rubik if they did that. Enchantress is the jungler available if they wanted to try that out. Chen's still in the pool too, I guess. They're in their reserve time, down to 45 seconds, so might as well use up all your time, right, if you're on the last pick. I'm NYJohn. Thank you for joining me. This is the Fnatic Raidcall. Dota 2 Cup number 5. We're about to get underway. Outrageous Cats versus Bomber Squad. Fifth and final pick coming out for the Radiant team. They have 22 seconds left. Thinking about it long and hard. They have a pretty solid roster already amassed. Invoker, Rubik, Morphling, and Brewmaster. All strong heroes, but 3 really farm-intensive heroes. Brewmaster needs this farm early. Morphling needs farm all game, and Invoker wants a steady flow as well. Crystal Maiden will be the final pick, so they pick up that strong support that I mentioned. Makes sense. And for the Dire team, they already featured Leshrac, Shadow Demon, Death Prophet, and Animage. They could pick up the jungler and go very aggressive, have that solo animage circa something that like Mouse would run, but don't entirely expect that to actually happen. It's going to be Windrunner, so a solid long laner. Now they're going to put the tri-lane with the animage, or they could do duos as well. So it opens up their options, and they look pretty solid in their lanes. I have to say, I do like this Dire lineup. A lot of potential. It's going to all come down to how Death Prophet does, though. Going to need to outlane either an Invoker or Brewmaster or Morphling, which is a tall task at times. Brewmaster's attack animation is phenomenal. And then Morphling, of course, has a lot of damage output. And Invoker, if he goes Exhort, he's a pain to deal with as well. So we're about to get into it. Outrageous Cats versus Bomber Squad. Round 3 of Fnatic Dota 2, Fnatic Raidcall Dota 2 Cup number 5. I'm NYJohn. This is my 3rd game of the day. We watched VP for 2 games, and now we're switching it up. The winner of this will play VP if I'm looking at the brackets right. And we'll go over who's playing what. For the Dire squad, we have Team Bomber Squad. It's going to be Cairo TV on top of Animage. We have Wamsley on top of Death Prophet. Tyre on top of Leshrac. Valmore on Windrunner. And to round up the lineup, we got to be me on Shadow Demon. For the Radiant team, we have Outrageous Cats. Bode is going to be playing Invoker. Powerless is on top of the Panda. We have Dolwyn on Crystal Maiden. Boladex on Rubik. And I'm the Scatman on Morphling. We do see 2 heroes rotating down to the bottom. It's going to be Tyre as well as Valmore looking into the jungle of the Radiant. But there's a 5-man movement down here from Outrageous Cat, so they have to be careful. If they run into somebody, they could be in a world of trouble. Crystal Maiden does have that Crystal Nova level 1, so it can catch someone out with that slow and really get an early kill. That is unnecessary, but aggressive war coming out here is going to be able to keep Windrunner a little bit more safe, and we'll see if Tyre is actually going to stay down here in the bottom lane, make it into a dual lane, give her a little more support, allow her to farm a little bit more easily as well. Or is he going to rotate back to another lane? It looks like he has intentions of moving. Wamsley setting up to solo the middle. We have Got to Be Me as well as Cairo TV on the top lane. And let me switch my overlay. Tyre going to pick up that DD, and actually he's going to come back to the bottom lane. So it's going to be duos. 2-on-2 setup. Ooh, as Tyre decides to go towards... I don't even know where he wants to go. I'm not sure he knows where he wants to go. Ping in the jungle, too. He might go to the middle. He has Split Earth available. So if he wants to go for an early attempt on top of Invoker, it's going to be difficult. Death Prophet doesn't have that much damage output. Level 1 wave only does 100 damage. And here it comes. The Split Earth is going to hit on top of him with the DD damage. He's going to take ticks from the tower, though. And a couple more hits will be enough to take him down. Will they get it down? Will this be first blood? One more auto attack would have done the job. But no, he lives through it. And very important there for Invoker to live through that. Meanwhile, damage coming out on top of Shadow Demon. He's being tossed up in the air with telekinesis and now in better position. He's going to wait for him over, and they're going to go for first blood here. I'm a Scatman with a couple more auto attacks. Should be able to take him out, but Disruption, he pops off on top of himself. Cairo TV trying to put off auto attacks to try and ward off the further aggression. And now auto attacks from the tower come on top of Boladex. He's in a bad spot. Cairo TV with a couple more hits could take him down, and now first blood goes to Animage on the over aggression and miscalculation from the Rubik. And also they're able to take down Morphling. So 2 kills on the top lane. A double kill for Animage inside of 1 minute and 10 seconds, and not the start they were looking for on the Radiant team. On the bottom, however, Powerless able to respond as he takes down Windrunner. Really awkward there. Windrunner shouldn't drop to Brewmaster. I'm not sure how that happened. I missed that because of the action on the top, but a lot of action already. We have 4 kills in 1.5 minutes, so hopefully it stays this pace and we have an interesting game on hand. Waves will be spammed by Death Prophet. It's going to be a lot of damage on top of Bode. As we can see, he's already down to around 300 health. Has to eat up those trees. Now, Tyre's sitting at the top lane. He's going to look for another opening. Rubik, of course, still level 1. Only a little bit of experience on him. He is going to be the target. Waveform is going to make Morphling a little bit more safe in this lane. And meanwhile, the bottom lane is pushed all the way to the tower. So Windrunner will have an opportunity to farm up here. Let's turn on our last hit denies. It looks like Brewmaster's leading the way. 8 for 2. Windrunner with that death is only 2 for 2 now. So she has to be a little bit more careful. Like I said, I'm a little surprised that she died there. Now Boladex may get stunned off here. Disruption first. They're going to chain it up with the Split Earth. And this is the combo that makes it so devastating. But he gets telekinesis up in the air. But the Soul Catcher is enough to give enough damage to take him down. And now Scatman needs to retreat. He's going to have to pop off, but the waveform, there's not enough mana for it. A couple more auto attacks will take him down, and down he goes. NMH able to kill him off, and that's the utility of an NMH versus a Morphling. He takes away the mana for a waveform because Skyman waited too long on it. You cannot do that when your enemy can sap mana from you with that level 2 mana break. And bottom line, it looks like they're setting up the duo yet again. It's Crystal Maiden plus Powerless, so Valmar has to play back. Dolan comes past the wave. Crystal Nova to try and harass a little bit. Gonna pull the creeps, but pulled right back by Brewmaster. This top tri lane is gonna be problematic though. If they got a couple more kills, they should have an opening to push onto the tower. Got to be me. Goes ahead, put some auto attacks. Anytime he wants to put a disruption, if he's in range of Rubik, that is going to set up a pretty easy kill. That's why Rubik is standing back so far. Bolodex has to be so cautious. Valmor's pushed back to the tower, but he'll like this. Get some free experience and some last hits if he can hit him off the tower. Middle lane, meanwhile, we do see that Wamsley is 13 for 4. Oh, dominating on the top lane. I do miss another kill on top of Rubik, so he must have came forward a little bit too far. And yeah, the skill's on cooldown. It's going to be disruption again for the setup. And another death on him. And this is not the way Outrageous Cats were hoping the game would go, as it's now a 6-1 kill lead already. We're only in 3 minutes and 45 seconds of the game. And here comes the pressure in the tier 1 on the top lane. Crystal Maiden thinking about coming in on this Windrunner from behind, can try and set something up. She has Frostbite. She's level 2, so level 1 in Frostbite as well as Crystal Nova. The tools to set up a successful gank are there. And it looks like, I'm sorry, Windrunner must have took down Crystal Maiden when Powerless got that kill on her. So that explains it. She didn't die by her own accord. She must have traded, which makes a lot more sense because otherwise it would have been very awkward. And now Wamsley going to find a rune on the bottom. It's going to be a haste rune, put it in his bottle, and be happy with that. They left Skyman now in the top lane to solo up. 3 have rotated down to the bottom, and they're going to try and go for this kill on Valmor in a moment here. But Valmor wisely backs off of the lane, so well played by him. Not going to be too overzealous. Conservative in his approach. Boba Bode, he is sitting on 14 for 5, so he's behind in CS against this Death Prophet, but not by too far. He does have a lot more auto attack damage than her, but she's probably using Wave to push him off. Always comes into play. And definitely hurts him a little bit in his effort. Got to be me. Going to stack these creeps and then try and pull them. Did he stack them successfully? Yes, he did. So, we have slowed down a little bit. We're at the 5-minute mark. 7 kills already. But the pace has definitely taken a turn for a little bit more calm as the teams try and collect themselves, because the onset of the game definitely rocked Outrageous Cat's boat. And I'm sure Bomber Squad are very satisfied with it, but they need to be a little bit careful too. If they're a little bit too over-ambitious, they can put themselves in bad positions. Tyre going to take a hit from the tower. Middle lane, they're going to go ahead and put a wave up. They're going to toss back Wamsley, but he pops out the haste and will get out of there easily as Invoker just invokes up that Cold Snap, but he will not be able to get it off on her. Wouldn't have done much anyway with that haste active, so once again, safe play by Death Prophet in the middle lane. Has that rune control, able to do as she pleases. And now the wave is pushing as the pull happens from the Dire, so Scatman has to stand all the way back just to be extra careful. Valmar has something flying in from the courier. It's going to be Bassi. Powerless has his Arcane Boots up already, so if there's one thing really going in favor of the Radiant team, it's going to be Powerless' strong farm. He's already level 5, about to be level 6. He has Arcane Boots up as well as his Magic Wand finished. Can start working towards that Blink as soon as possible, and then with the Primal Split get involved in a big way, and certainly that can change the pace of the game, which seems to be going in favor of the Dire at the moment. I'm NYJohn. Thank you for joining me. This is the Fnatic Raidcall. Dota 2 Cup number 5. Now Scatman pushed back to his tower again. Cairo thinking about putting some autos on him. How's Cairo's farm looking? He's leading the way, 33 for 7. Has 800 gold in the bank. Already has a ring of health up on him. So really strong on the back end of that animate, something you don't want to see ever if you're on the opposition. But in this case, it's an unfortunate truth for the Radiant team. On the middle lane, there's still Bolodex here, but he hasn't really been able to set anything up. In fact, he's taken some damage from those waves as well. So perhaps a little bit of unnecessary presence, and he's just sapping experience from Invoker. So he can't stand on the top lane, though. So maybe this is the only outlet for him to get experience. He's not stacking the creeps in the jungle and trying to farm them off or even pull. Instead, he's going to stand in the middle lane for the time and do what he can there. Dolan has to walk all the way back to base. Aggression maybe setting up on Scammon on the top. Gotta be me is thinking about trying to get the disruption off, but the waveform does pull Morphling out of there. Now he doesn't have enough mana for a second waveform though, so has to be careful. It's going to be up now, so there it is. It was just a second until he got it back. Courier's going to deliver something that gotta be me. It's probably his Bassi or that smoke. Now TP in is going to bring purple right into the middle of the fight. It's going to be Brewmaster, and Brewmaster, 500 gold on him, decides to switch up to the top lane. With Primal Split, he's a little bit more safe. Morphling, someone needs to go down to this bottom though and get the farm opposing Windrunner. And it'll probably be Morphling. They're going to do a switch up here. Yup, so Morphling heading to the bottom lane to try and get his farm up. At the moment he's only 6 for 2, so really held back by that aggressive lane set up from the Dire team. So props to them on that. Death Prophet does finish off her Arcane Boots. We see Tyre on full support duty. Shadow Demon a little bit less support, so able to get some farm going. A clap comes out from Powerless on to Cairo TV, pushes him back a little bit. Now it looks like rotation to the middle lane. Got to be plus Tyre may try and combine for a kill here. There are two heroes, Bobo Boat as well as Bulldex, who could be susceptible to this gank. The haste is going to bring in Death Prophet. Full speed, has an ult available as well. Definitely can push this tower in the back end of it if they get a successful gank. It's already down to half health. And now Wamsley going to show herself inside of the tower range though and have to back off. And both heroes forced back into the jungle. Wisely so. Decide to retreat a little bit. Don't want to give him anything for free. Now gotta be me, gonna look for the opening. He tries to get off the disruption, but just out of range. And here it goes though, disruption gonna come off. Gotta be taking a lot of damage for the tower. Telekinesis tosses him back in the air, plus the cold snap. One more hit, he's gonna drop, but instead they're able to take down Invoker first. And now Boldex may be in trouble as well. The Edict is popped off. One more wave could take him out. Wamsley, does he have a wave available? The Split Earth is gonna hit, and now an auto attack will do the job. And down he goes. Leshrac picking up the kill on top of Rubik. And now the middle tier 1 tower may be the next target. It looks like it's gonna go down. Gotta be me. Lucky to survive there, but the tower's gonna finish him off as he gets the aggro. A little bit awkward there that he picked up the aggro. There must have been one creep alive, but misplay by him allows for one kill. The gold's going to be split, though. Nobody really picked it up. So, a slight glimpse of goodness for the Radiant team. Courier's going to deliver out Animage just to south. Animage is now sitting on 1,000 gold, so getting closer to finishing up that Battle Fury, which it looks like he wants to go for it first. Tyre going up towards the top lane, does have wards in his pocket. He's going to set up an aggressive ward back here. Powerless is going to back all the way up to his tower. Shadow Demon rotates in as well. And now Wamsley going to go ahead and bottle off that regen rune. And at this point of the game, the Dire should just continue to push relentlessly. They should pop that Exorcism and go for every tier 1 and then follow the tier 2s. You have that Leshrac plus that Death Prophet, and they do a world of hurt to towers. Now Powerless has to be careful here. He has an ult available, so he's kind of safe. But still, you don't want to be 1 versus 4 under any circumstances, or be forced to pop off that ultimate in a defensive manner if it's avoidable. Now it looks like they're going to do that. They're going to go ahead. This tower is below half health already. Glyph is available though. It doesn't look like anyone wants to rotate out. They should pop the Glyph just to waste the duration of Exorcism though. Instead they're not. The tower's going to go down. And they're going to keep going. The level 3 Edict is up as well. So with the Edict and the level 3 Edict, with the Exorcism and the level 3 Edict, there's going to be a ton of damage for this tower. And the tier 2 tower is going to melt here. Are they going to pop off this Glyph and try and contest it? There's a rotation over by one player. There's the Glyph. Rubik's going to come in, and Brewmaster's already here. And now Crystal Maiden coming in as well. The split damage from the Sunstrike not going to hurt too much. They go unfazed there, and now the tower dropping very quickly. Another Edict up in 6 seconds. Powerless walking right in, gets hit by the disruption though. And now Fate Bolt going to come out, hit Leshrac. Powerless going to try and run and get a stomp on top of Tyre. He's going to take one more hit and he will drop. No, instead he's going to change his focus. Wamsley gets tossed in the air with Telekinesis, chaining up with the stun from the Earth Panda. And now Wamsley is going to go down. Oh no, in the back end of it, it looks like Cairo TV trying to pick someone else up. But instead, Invoker able to kill down Shadow Demon. They did not kill off Wamsley, but now Tyre trapped in the corner. He pops off the clap, takes out Leshrac and Cairo TV in a bad spot. But Wamsley, another wave will finish off Powerless too. Powerless going to try and TP out of here, and there's nothing to interrupt him, and they cannot kill him. But now they need to back up. Cairo TV pretty low on health. Do they have any skills available? It looks like all cooldowns for Invoker, but a good Shackle is going to pinch him. And now Wamsley gets tossed in the air with Telekinesis, able to take down the Crystal Maiden though. And Boat is going to be in trouble as he tries to juke into the jungle. One more auto attack will finish him off. Down he goes, and it ends up being a pretty good trade for the Dire team yet again. The kill rate is now 10-4. This tower took a ton of damage. It's in deny range, and we see Rubik trying to work on that deny. He will get that deny, but I'm sure the Dire team are not too concerned with that, as they are really asserting themselves across the map, showing that they are in the lead. Morphling on the bottom lane has had some time to farm. He's now 27 for 10, so improvement over where he stood prior, but still not great. They need a lot more in this Morphling at 12 minutes than he has. It's going to be tough to rebound from this, and they're going to have to find some openings to try and pick off players on the Dire squad. But the AoE damage coming out from their teamfight presence, with the Panda ult on cooldown as well, it's going to be very difficult to try and fight within that. The Exorcism, the Edict, all the damage that's going to come out, even power shots, as well as the Shackles. We saw that coming out as they were trying to charge forward. A great Shackle by Windrunner set up a couple more kills. And Dire team probably going to rotate down to this tier 1, as we do see Valmor is down here, as well as Tyre. And gotta be me, going to rotate in with the DD rune too. Dolan is here with Morphling to try and defend it up. The tower hasn't taken all too much damage. Waveform over. Valmor going to take a little bit of damage from the Morphling wave, but nothing too tremendous. Now Tyre is going to chase Dolan off a little bit. 550 gold until he finishes off his boots. He'll have arcane boots then, which will help the pushing effort even more so. Being able to spam up those waves every 5 seconds, it's just a ton of damage to try and deal with when you really don't have that much farm on anyone except for your Brewmaster, who is entirely cooldown dependent at this stage of the game at least. So here it goes. The Edict has popped off. The tower is already dropping very quickly. Gotta be Amy sets up a good disruption on top of Dolan. Dolan gets hit by the Soul Catcher as well. A couple hits should be enough to take him out. A good power shot from Valmor, able to shackle up Powerless and Crystal Maiden. She drops. The Fade Bolt comes in from Bolodex. He's going to take damage away, but still, Wham's Lay still surviving in the middle of the fight. Scatman trying to find someone to focus down. Valmor needs one more hit to drop, and they're able to get that, but the shackle on Scatman is going to put him in a pinch, and he's going to drop their disruption now to set up the kill. They're going to try and open up on top of Rubik. Bolodex ticking down on health, and down he goes. Ends up being a 3-for-1. Another trade in favor, and the tower goes down as well. So really big goal coming out for the Dire team. Bomber squad looking dominant thus far. We are 14 minutes into this one, over a 7,500 gold advantage. This is round 3 of the Fnatic raid call. Dota 2, cup number 5. I'm NYJohn, your shoutcaster. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're enjoying the cast. Looks like Dire in full control of this one. Kill lead is 14-5. And doesn't look like it's going to switch up anytime soon. Experience lead is only 3,000 though, so they're keeping up decent pace in terms of levels. And you can see that 3 heroes from the Radiant team, and that's because of the grouping up that has to happen for the pushing to be successful for the Dire squad. And now Animage does have that Battle Fury up and 1,000 gold on him as well, so he's going to be hitting a little bit harder. The interesting thing about Battle Fury, of course, is it's better as a farming mechanic than, or a farming item than anything else. And with this pushing lineup, it's more so going to be used in his pushing effort because the 5-man squads are going to be trying to break down this enemy team. But of course, he has that to fall back on if anything went wrong. They're going to kill off the illusion here. They use a lot to take it down. Whamsley pops off the Exorcism. So they're going to try and turn this into a push onto this tower, but the wave has been killed off pretty quickly. I'm not sure anyone wants to tank the tower. And Death Prophet looks like she may be going for the pipe for her team. We'll see. Valmor doesn't really have that much farm going on. She's 2 for 2, but only 25 CS. And now the Exorcism going to start to deal damage on the tower. We see Edict coming in from the side as well, and look how quickly it ticks down from the Edict plus the Exorcism. It's just a ton of damage, and now Invoker going to jump into the middle, try and take out Tyre with a Deafening Blast. Not able to do so. Good shackle yet again for Valmor. His shackles have been killing it, and he takes down Invoker after Invoker forces himself in too aggressively. And now they're going to go ahead and just try and walk through this tower in the middle lane. Cairo blinks out a little bit. Here comes the creep wave. The tower's already around half health. Glyph is available. They might pop it off right now. Skyman going to walk right into the team, and no response by the shackle now yet again. That time Valmor getting lucky on the angle, but Skyman going to take a lot of damage. He may go down. The silence is going to stop him from waving out. He does live though as Panda jumps into the middle of the fight, pops off the ultimate disruption on Shadow Demon to keep him alive for the time being. They send Whirlwind on top of Death Prophet to get her out of the way, and they're trying to finish off Shadow Demon with the Panda form. Only has a couple seconds left on it. Bolodex in the middle fight puts Telekinesis up on Whamsley as well, and now Tyre comes in, drops off a great Split Earth. It hits on 2 Powerless as well as Rubik. Rubik drops. Now Skyman trying to finish off Tyre, but he's going to get the better of it. Tyre finishes off Skyman first, and Powerless looking for the clap on top of Tyre, but cannot get it. And Powerless with the Soul Catcher on him, he will go down as well. It ends up being a 4-for-1 trade, somewhere in the middle of that Animage drop, but he was the only casualty for the Dire team. And now they should be able to get this tower pretty easily as well. It's only sitting at 108 health.
Radiant's middle tower is
And
under
down it goes.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
That is the 5th tower kill for the Dire squad. Bomber squad. Outrageous Cats look like they're struggling. There's not much they can do about it, though. I mean, they're just falling behind too early. And a lot of professional teams say the laning phase is so important, and this is why, because when you get pushed back this far, there's not all too much they can do to try and combat it. They're behind on experience, they're a little bit behind on levels, but they're really behind on gold. And getting those core items up is going to be so crucial for everyone on the Dire team. Now, Force Staff is going to be up. They have so many arcane boosts to keep the push alive and sustain. And now Death Prophet also has that pipe up. So able to mitigate a lot of the damage coming out from the Radiant team. And they're very reliant on Brewmaster's cooldown. The Primal Split is the one thing going for them. And without that, it's going to be even more difficult to really succeed in the team fight. It's down for 75 more seconds, so we'll see if the Dire try and take advantage of that. Wamsley going to run in on top of Invoker, but it decides to break the invis instead. Go and CS the middle lane. We have Animage leading the way in CS. He's 113 for 14. So doing a really good job. He's well beyond anyone else. And the kills, it looks like 5 for 0 on top of Death Prophet. Doing a really good job. In fact, everyone on the Dire squad doing better on kills than everyone on the Radiant squad. That's to be expected when the kill lead is 20-6 though. And we can check out our goal per minute as well. Animage now sitting at 485. The last thing you want to see against an Animage. Now rotation to jungle. Wamsley and Gotta Be Me might run into Powerless here. And they're going to back off a little bit. Smoked up. Now Dolan's going to reveal him. And who are they going to target? They put the disruption on top of Dolan. He's going to be in trouble. The Split Earth is used a little bit early, but Dolan with the Soul Catcher on him, he will drop instantly, melting so quickly. And Valmore decides to hold back that shackle, as she doesn't think she had a good vantage to try and pick somebody else up with it. Now pressure on the tier 2 on the bottom will ensue. Wamsley thinking about casting off that ultimate, holding back for now. And now a good shackle going to catch up Bolodex yet again. The Exorcism is popped, and Demonic Purge on Bolodex is going to slow him down enough. One more wave should take him out. Here it is. Oh, down he goes. Shadow Demon gets a kill with the Demonic Purge burst damage. And Boat as well as Powerless are forced off of the tower. The tower is going to take a ton of damage and drop here. That is the last outer base tower for Outrageous Cats. And now Bomber Squad have to try and break into the base or back off and go for a Roshan perhaps. Another viable option for them. No, it looks like they're going to pursue the base towers. And with Rubik down, they have a little bit of an opening, but definitely Blast as well as Meteor is going to try and push them off. Tyre drops off the stun to try and kill the creep wave as quickly as possible. Sunstrike comes out. It doesn't hit on Gotta Be Me, who was the target. May have very well took him out if it did land. What level is Sunstrike? So Exhort is level 5. Yeah, I believe that's 5. Yeah, I could always look over it too. That makes sense. It is level 5, so it does hit for 350. So would have killed Shadow Demon if it had landed. And now they don't have an Exorcism available. Of course, they have Edict, but they're waiting until the middle lane is being pulled up by Cairo TV. So Cairo TV also picked up his Yasha. He's gonna be able to do some work by himself in this middle tower. But they decide to break off the split idea, head back towards the Roche pit, but they don't have all too much health on a lot of the heroes, so they might hold off on the Roche for a little while. Instead, creep the enemy jungle, try and take out whatever gold they can. And we can check out the gold graph yet again. Over 15,000 gold advantage, over 10,000 experience advantage now. And it looks like Outrageous Cats are just being outmatched. This is round 3 of the Fnatic Raidcall. Dota 2 Cup number 5. I'm NYJohn, your shoutcasting host. Hope you're enjoying the presentation. If you like me, you could check out VODs available later at my YouTube channel, youtube.com/NYJohnTV. Sub me there, and I'll have plenty more content. Tyre gonna trap Dolan. Dolan walks right into him. Do they get off? No, the splitter just misses, and now Tyre gonna take damage as Dolan pops off an ultimate. Acknowledges that he's not making it out alive, and the power shot to finish him off. But Rubik jumps in. He gets the kill on top of Windrunner. He picks. How does he jump in? Oh, he still blink from Animage. It's like he can't afford an actual blink dagger. And now it looks like trouble may come for Boat as Wamsley is ominously standing over him. In fact, he may switch targets to Bolodex if he so pleases. And he blocks him off a little bit there, and Boat may realize he's there. He also has a Force Staff available, so it would be a difficult kill anyway. And he's going to back off. So Wamsley decides not to be too crazy there. Meanwhile, farming continues for Cairo TV. He's looking for his Manta, and is this it? Yes, Manta is completed already on Animage. At 22 minutes, he has Manta and Battle Fury. And I'm not sure when they're going to go for Roche, but they probably should go for Roche before they push again. They have Exorcism available, so they can either use it on Roche or use it in a pushing effort. Bomber Squad, one thing is sure, they're in full control of the game. Dolan extends again to try and place a ward out. This time does so safely. There are no wards on the map for the Dire team right now. We'll see if anyone's bringing them out. It looks like Windrunner's going to go for a mech too. Ward's coming out on Leshrac, so that's why they're not out right now. Double damage is going to be picked up by Wamsley. And what do they want to do? It looks like they're going to try and fight this team. Couple of their show faces in lane. Bo's going to back up. Ping comes off. They know they're all here because of that ward placed by Crystal Maiden a moment ago. And nothing's going to pursue on the back end of that. How low is this tower? It didn't take any damage, so none of the base towers really phased yet. Still going to be difficult to try and break that barrier. And Morphling, 2,100 gold on him, but we're at 23 minutes. He's picked up a Yasha. That's his only real item, so it's not enough farm. And that's the only thing you can really say about it. It's just not enough. And it may not be his fault, but 244 gold per minute is not going to carry this game. Brewmaster has a point booster up and almost 2,000 gold in the bank, so he's only 1,000 gold off from finishing Aghanims. But he's going to need some crazy team plays to be able to turn this one around. And now a great shackle again. Bo to shackle to Dolan. They're going to take a ton of damage to Split Earth to try and finish him off. And Evoker drops before he can do anything. Dolan's going to back off here. Exorcism is popped by Wamsley, and they're going to go on this tower. Needs to be a little bit more careful. Now Exorcism is stolen by Boladex. Yes, it is. So an Exorcism will come out from him as well. A little bit of a misplay from Wamsley to let that happen. Could have popped off the silence right after, or even the wave to try and prevent that from happening. But here it goes. The pressure on the tower. Glyph is not available. They're going to pop off this Edict as well, and the tower is going to drop very quickly. Boladex pops off his Exorcism. Walks in here a little bit too far. The amount of pressure is going to come out on Boladex. It's not enough to kill him off, though. He's going to go back to the well and try and heal up. Now Exorcism has run out, and Edict is going to be on cooldown as well. So the tower almost to half health. And they're going to have NMH split off again. Try and put some pressure on the middle. Actually, he was doing that the whole time, it seems, as the tower is around half there, too. So here comes the effort number 2. The Split Earth going to come in, not hit on anything. Wave comes out from Wamsley. Scatman going to get hit by Disruption. Boat is back alive. He's going to walk in there. Power shot to try and kill off the creep wave. Ice Wall comes out, but it's a little bit back far. It's not going to hit any creeps, really, or even players. In the middle lane, Cairo TV going to put more pressure on this tower. There it is, down to half. Scatman comes in to try and cope with that. But Blink Out from Animage, and now Telekinesis has the Blink Out pursuit. He steals off that from the Animage, and a little bit of overextension from Rubik. He could have put himself in a bad spot as Valmor is rotating up looking for a shackle. But instead, the rest of the team stayed at the bottom lane. They'll have another Exorcism in 10 seconds, and that may very well allow them to break this base. Looks like Replicate has gone up on the Animage, so another way of trying to cope with that, putting the Animage on himself. Excuse me for a moment there. And a little bit of a lull. It looks like Bomber Squad are just trying to slowly let Animage push that middle lane in and force a fight outside of the base. They don't want to fight under the tower, which is a pretty wise decision. Once again, I'm NYJohn. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Fnatic Raidcall. Dota 2, Cup number 5. Brought to you by Fnatic in conjunction with Raidcall. $500 winner takes all prize. So, a good deal for a 2-day tournament. Now, Tyre going to get hit by a couple spells, but drops off a Split Earth, hits on 3 people in the shackle to follow. It's going to catch off 2. Bo may be in trouble. Wamsley going to be put up by a Telekinesis. Bo just forces himself out of there. Now, Wamsley going to pop off the Shivas that he just picked off. Pops off the Exorcism as well, and can they take down the tower? They're going to change their focus back to the tower. Dolan's going to take some damage here. Frostbite's Wamsley, and now Powerless going to come in, get a clap on him, pop off the ultimate. Stun comes out on Wamsley. He's stuck in place. The shackle comes out on top of the Panda, but it doesn't do all too much. I don't think it caught onto anything, and there it goes. The Sunstrike finishes off Death Prophet, and now the blink in from Rubik puts Tyre up in the air. Telekinesis to toss him back. Tyre's in a bad spot. Can they finish him off? They'll have a stun available in 2 seconds. No, instead they're able to finish him off with the clap, but now the jump in from Gotta Be Me as well as Cairo, jumping on top of Powerless, who has a Soul Catcher on top of him. He's going to take amplified damage, and now Valmor looking for an opportunity to shackle. He gets a good one on top of Scat, and now the jump in from Cairo TV to finish off the Morphling. Powerless going to take a lot of hits. He's going to go down as well. 3-for-3 trade. Cairo TV now going to be focused though as Dolan comes out and he blinks out just in time. Shackle attempt from Valmor to try and catch Crystal Maiden outside of her base. Unable to do so though. Now they see a cold snap coming out on Valmor as Bo lived through that whole engagement. He got really low but able to force staff himself out just in time. This tower took a lot of damage in the byproduct of the battle. It's down to like 400 health, so definitely problematic for the team, and the melee barracks did go down in the middle lane, so wow, that is a big win for the Dire team. A 3-for-3 trade, but they get tier 3 as well as a melee barracks. Now they can definitely go for Roche pretty easily. They have so much map control that is so difficult for the Radiant to even peek out of the base and try and contest it. NMH finishes up his heart. We saw Shiva's used during the last battle. The farm is there for the Dire squad, and it is huge. We can see over 20,000 gold in advantage, experience over 14,000. Tyre on full support, even has a couple items coming up. He has a point booster as well as that Ogre Axe. Valmor finished up that mech. Gotta Be Me has drums, arcane boots. Now they're gonna jump in here. Powerless is not even ult for 50 seconds. Bode needs to be careful as Wamsley wants to make something happen. The Splitter is going to come out here. It's not going to hit on anyone. Bulldex puts him up into the air, and now Tyre may be in trouble. He gets hit by the Cold Snap. The Sunstrike to follow. It's going to hit right on top of him. A good shot, but he steals off the Splitter. But a good shackle again for Valmor. Is going to catch out Bulldex and Bode. Bulldex is going to drop first. Bode pushes himself over the ledge, and now Dolan may be in trouble. Disruption comes up on him. Shadow Demon rotated in, and he's going to be in a world of hurt. Here it comes, the wave to try and kill him, and he goes down. Death Prophet picking up that kill. And now they're going to go ahead and move on to the base. Haste is powered by Death Prophet. Exorcism is available. Is there a glyph? Yes, there is. They could try and stop this for a little while, but with 2 heroes down, it's going to be a difficult task against 5. Meanwhile, NMH is trying to split it. He's in the top lane by himself against Scatman. And Exorcism is popped. The tower drops, and this game looks like it may be all but officially over in favor of the Dire squad. Team Bomber squad taking down Outrageous Cats. Here it comes. Powerless trying to make his last-ditch effort. A little bit of a miscue on that Split Earth, unless it came out from someone else. And down goes Panda yet again. And the full Rax has been destroyed down here. NMH trying to finish off the final Rax as the rest of the team rotates in and trying to take down the range barracks in the middle lane. Now Dolan coming forward. He's peeking out a little bit, just trying to find an opening. Disruption on Shadow Demon himself to try and